Alright. Today is January 8th, 2023. Okay? Oh God. Yesterday, I told you, people from my church were helping follow me around. Okay? This one guy in his big truck, he came out and from Walmart, him and his wife and baby, and I'm rambling and my car's bugged and they got the login from the protected custody case. And I'm talking about that big scary guy in Walmart. And she said, hey, Karen says some big scary guy showed up in Walmart. He said, we already told him that we already know the tapes before were them and not her, and no one's going to follow her around ever again. Okay? We already know the tapes were them and not her. Told you. That ecstasy tape where I told you I talked to my one old neighbor. He said it just makes you high and that makes you sexually active. And feel really good. So he either did that or something else. And they're laughing. It's not an amnesia drug. Amnesia drugs are the ketamine, the Rufinol, Profanol. And actually fentanyl will do it too. In the right dose. And that's where you're sleepwalking. Okay. So this is how not funny this is. Shocking my friend. He said, I know somebody. He said he destroys people. He said he destroys people. He said they take and make a comment about you. They tell someone else, and they tell someone else, and then they start telling everyone. So it makes it true. I said, but it's a lie, right? He's like, yeah. But it costs people their jobs. It costs them da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And this person, it totally destroys them. He said, I know someone who does that. I looked at him. I said, it's still a lie. It's a hate crime. He's like, I didn't think of it. I said, it's a false rumor. That's all it is. I said, that's what they did to me. He said, Karen, that's effed up. It's like, yeah, it is. Okay? And see, if you go back to where I called that hotline, that agent went up and told on me. He knew they'd kill me. Absolutely. People are crazy enough to tell 3 people in the mall or more they're going to kill you. Why would you go tell them they called the FBI? So for them to kill you? And if they weren't going to kill you and join in, they will now because you called the FBI on them. That's why you told. Yeah. That's why you can tell, but they can't. It's obstruction to justice and tampering with evidence. They put people in undercover all the time. And a lot of times they get hurt or killed when they go undercover in these occults. They don't go out and tell. It's illegal for them to. Well, I put that post up on my Facebook and I sent it to that one girl part of Vegas Church about fibromyalgia going into spontaneous remission after 2 years, and the other ones looking like they go in the degenerative joint disease, looking like it goes into spontaneous remission, but it's just maintained with movement and exercise and building up the tendons. And the other one naturally goes in spontaneous remission after 2 years. And it took mine almost 3 years. I sent it to her. She goes to Ron Vegas Church. I put it on my Facebook. I'm tired of it. And that agent telling people he knew I was faking, I was sick and figuring I got well, blah, 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 blah. He knew better. He knew how to use Google. He was feeding into an occult leader's lies that people are educated and smart enough to look it up for themselves because they worship him like a god, and he was feeding into the hysteria. Why? Because my ex-husband was dating his daughter. He wanted everything. That's why he bullied me. That's why he badgered me. And you do know in the protected custody case, he didn't write it in a court order. that no one can help you if you tell someone. He's the one that told on me before he even said it. He's the one, either confess your lying or I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? Either say it out or put you in jail. I mean, how come I'm arrested? I'm like, fine, whatever. Okay? You can't bully me into a false statement. No coerced confession is admissible. It's badgering laws, Department of Justice 1729. And he can't threaten to listen to me crazy and no one can help me. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. He can't even tell me he won't help me. He is paid by the tax dollars to do his job. He's just higher law enforcement. It's like a local cop telling you they won't help you. You turn them in, you yell badgering, they lose their badge. It's bullying somebody. He couldn't put that in a court order because the sitting judge had to sign it for the protected custody case. And they say, you're bullying this woman, you're badgering her, and I'm taking your license. And what do you mean she couldn't tell anybody and no one can? You can never tell. You can't even say you can't help her. That's badgering and bullying somebody. Huh? And you don't have a right to put a gag order on her. You're not a sitting judge. See, he just said it to scare me, and people took him literally that he could do it. It's not in the court order. The only thing that can be in the court order is my money, witness protection program, informant, and the $5,000 a month, and the diplomatic immunity that goes with it for the threats of my life. My statement, Dave said they knew they were going to threaten me. They were threatening my life. That's it. What makes it legal? Then a judge will sign it. See, he's pulled a fast one down here. Do you know, when a lot of the bad guys showed up, they were driving old Ford cars, silver, paint faded. One guy had a green car, paint faded off the back bumper. Huh? They had older black cars, older white ones. Do you know what was happening in 2 months? They were driving $80,000 trucks. They sold the log into the police investigation. And then they started stealing my money. I'm supposed to get $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year, part of the witness protection program. I'm supposed to get my living expenses, my rent, my utilities, and what it costs for me to live, and a medical card, and then police surveillance. You know what I got? The police surveillance. But you know what's scary? Where that big scary guy showed up? The drug dealers that agent's messed up with are watching me, and I need to put stuff over the vents and everything. So, like I said, some girl smacked the big scary guy and said, I said leave her alone. Some guy showed up later that day and said she identified one of them, and we told him, realizing how not funny this is, and he said he already knew it. That agent knew when he told on me. I'll tell you what, Keys Church on 12th Street in Massland, years ago when I was younger, they said, no, they had to do something horrible to this person, horrible. They said that somebody was threatening to burn their church down, and they were scared and stayed there and prayed. Why would you stay there and pray? Exactly. You go home and let the police watch your church. That's where I always thought it was fishy. He said, sure enough, they firebombed it and burned it down. That's how they got 12th Street, because they were in camp before that. For one thing, I don't believe that story. I think they burned it themselves, because it's too fishy. The second one is, oh my God, what did you do to that person? And they burned your church down. See, yeah, because they tried to kill me over a fucked up lie that even Vega's daughter is an RN nurse. RN nurse. Since 1516. And knew about autoimmune disorders, and that it naturally goes into what? Naturally goes into what? Spontaneous remission on its own after a tragedy. Well, I sent one of the girls that go to his church my statement and the proof that it goes into spontaneous remission. And the other part looks like it with exercise. To stop this. Told you. I went up to casino, and the people that worked in the casino, they were talking. That's the one that church tried to have killed. And it's not funny why they hopped out. Or to make sure nothing happens to her. And last Sunday, I was at Trinity Gospel Temple, and someone had called the security guard. Now, they had already told him I'm an informant. Can't get out of it my whole life. This is a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated. Data witness protection program. That agent has told over $300,000 from my case. People need to be horrified that Michelle's family did all this to embezzle money from the federal government. And then they sold the protected custody case for regular people to watch. And made money off of her. And kept upping the ante. That's what's going on. I gotta get to work. And they need to be like out at my clients on Turquoise Street. People are on the phone. FBI, this is really going on. Yes, I've seen it. Yes, I've heard it. You need to get somebody else down here. My other client lived on Shepler Church Road. Her neighbor was out there talking to an investigator, and she's talked to the police. And police have been telling people, leave me alone. They already knew the tapes before were them and not me since May of last year, 22. Michelle's family's pulling a fast one. And they're stealing from the feds. That's why they did all this. That's why the guy, he knew when he went up there and told on me, he knew they'd kill me. He knew they would kill me. If they weren't part of trying to kill me, knowing I called the feds on them, they'd kill me. That's why they go in undercover. That's why you can tell on yourself, but they can't tell on you. Ever. It's obstruction of justice and tampering with evidence, and so is badgering. They have to take your statement and follow through if they believe you or not. Another officer even told me that, then told me it was badgering, and if they yell badgering, you automatically lose your badge. Well, I told the Department of Justice, and on January 5th, 22, women they tape an audio through the whole store in Macy's, by the dresses. Women walk up. That agent better find her money. And these people better not open their mouth against her ever again. His daughter was dating her husband a long time before she called the FBI. And that man had no right picking up this case. Conflict of interest charges 1 to 10 and $1 million fine. Like I said, he better get my money. He let all this happen to me, and he did it with his drug addict friends so he could embezzle from the federal government. Like I said, they started off with really old cars and left with $80,000 each trucks. That's how not funny this is. Someone needs to help.